million square feet total warehousing space for them. And again, they were trying to track product that was coming off their manufacturing lines. They were putting it into their warehouse, their storage facilities, and again, huge barns, as we've said, 1.2 million square feet. And production doesn't stop. It just goes 24 hours a day. They pull it off the manufacturing line, and they really had a difficult time locating it after it was put into their warehouse. We installed a system with barcodes, barcoded all the locations. So when they put the product away, they scanned the product number. It married it to the location where it was put away. They had an order the next day. They could call the product up and see where they
Was that a fairly elaborate system that you installed there? Or?
Actually not.
Actually not.
It honestly wasn't. It was a very effective system with an excellent return on investment, but it was not by any stretch one of the more complex that we've
Now, did you use the RFID type of labeling for them?
No, that was traditional barcoding.
Okay. When would you use that, what they call the radio frequency identification part of the...
RFID is a wonderful technology, but it's still a very emergent technology. You're finding there are a few very large players in certain industries that are requiring it, the Department of Defense, for example. And they're kind of forcing it down the supply chain back to the manufacturers. It has not really gained wide acceptance. It will. It's just, as barcodes hadn't 20 years ago. It is coming. It's quite costly. The cost to produce it has not come down, but it will, and ultimately it will be everywhere. But at this point, it's still working its way into the supply chain.
But the beauty of that is that you said it has an embedded tracking system in the label, so it gives you that one step more.
Correct. To utilize a barcode, you have to be in proximity of it. You have to have a laser scanner. Don, you can hold that.
Well, you have to be in line of sight.
You have to be in line of sight. Whereas the RFID tag actually has embedded, and there are a variety of RFID formats. You can either have a standalone tag that's plastic for reuse.
Which you see at retail sometimes.
You'll notice them as security tags where they pull them off the product. That's an RFID tag.
All right.
Or they can be actually embedded into an actual label, where within the label itself, as it comes out of the printer, it's being programmed.
Wow.
So with that RFID tag, you don't have to have line of sight. There can be an interrogator either at a warehouse door where the product's going out the door in a pallet, and there'll be an interrogator around the door that'll read all the product that's going out the door, and conversely, as it's coming in, this Walmart's bringing it into their warehouse. It reads the product coming in and does all that wonderful validation that we talked about to be sure that you have shipped the right product.
Because when that pallet goes through, it's registering that such and such has arrived.
Correct.
All right.
Without somebody walking up, finding a barcode, and actually scanning it.
Okay.
Because the
And
interrogators
then
are
they
built
can
into
send
doors.
you your charge back if you've shipped the wrong product.
Very interesting. But I want to bring up one other point that I think is just critical for our viewers to understand, is that you gentlemen have 60 years combined experience in this.
We hate
Pretty
to admit that.
You had to bring that up.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a good thing, not a cruel thing. But that's amazing. And what I thought was equally amazing is that for a client, in the 60 combined years, you've seen everything, and what you've done is make things modular. So when you meet with a client, you can say you need part A, part E, part G. There you go.
We've been lucky. We've been, we've been in operation about 11 years now, and we've had the good grace to be in some extraordinarily large clients, Jones Apparel Group, Astra Pharmaceutical, to some very small family-run businesses. With that, we've developed an extensive portfolio of software.
Right.
And pretty much plug and play, where we need to do a picking module. We can pick that off the shelf and bring it to the software. We need to do some receiving, inventory control, so we can basically bring these components together. And though the process from a business standpoint, is fairly generic. Each customer has their own methodology,
Right.
how their processed product flows through their facility. So we were able to, and I don't like to use the word customize, but we're able to tailor the software for the customer to give them the best value.
But also what you brought up, and I think is critically important, is it gives the customer the assurance that the software is going to work.
Well,
You know, it's not, you know, you didn't just write the code.
No.
through much of our career, we've also been on the other side of the desk where we've been buying software. You know, we've both been VP of systems for fairly large companies and have had to evaluate software and deal with consultants, which we are now. So we've had a very interesting perspective on this from both sides of the desk and understand that really the solution we're trying to sell and implement is really a business solution. It's not, while it's founded on technology and uses things that perhaps other people don't understand, if we can't address a business solution, we're not going to have achieved the objective of the initiative.
Right, because you said consulting does enter into a very large part of what you do for a client.
Absolutely.
You have to really understand their business, because it's, you know, everyone is really a niche, and then, you know, figure out how you're going to divide and conquer that.
Well, and the family businesses, as we said earlier, bring all their dirty laundry to the table. And when the company decides that they're going to choose a different path, it allows them all of a sudden to step back and look at their current processes, reevaluate what they're doing based on what we bring to the table is, this is the industry standard. This is how everyone else does it. And most people would like to conform to
Right.
standard.
Sure.
Sometimes there are very good reasons why we can't make our business operate like that. At that point, we can tailor the software to go down that road a little bit. But for the most part, people want to be
Right.
mainstream.
But someone out there shouldn't feel like, oh, you can't tailor this for me because I'm doing widgets, not plastics, or what have
Oh,
you.
absolutely. I mean, we really, honestly, as Pierre mentioned, we've done everything from pharmaceuticals to injection molded plastic to fresh fish. I mean,
That's
everything
another thing, a
imaginable.
division of your company is called C-Track.
Correct.
Which is hugely interesting, and that's why you're out of Maine. Would you like to address that, Don?
Certainly.
It doesn't really come into play much in our area, but it's...
Yeah, we're a bit landlocked right
Yeah.
here, but yes, and it's a growing part of our company, and we're putting effort into it to do so. But C-Track is going after people who are part of the fresh food, not only seafood, but fresh food supply chain.
All right.
However, we have initially worked in the fresh seafood industry. But yeah, absolutely. It's a product based, again, on all of the 60 combined years of work that we've done. But we've taken the inventory control technology and all of our
Our
experiences.
base system
And
that has all of the bugs worked out. We
Yeah.
rolled it into the fresh food.
And so now
business.
it's,
Wow.
and so rather than taking inventory, tracking inventory in terms of eaches and units, we're actually, everything's based on lots and pounds, because that's how fresh food is.
And when you're dealing with something like seafood, which is just a very expensive commodity, I mean, they can't afford to have a lot of inefficiencies, but that's inherent in that industry.
Well, and the product
So it's
moves
kinda
very
crazy.
quickly. I mean, we're working with an account right now where the product comes in. I mean, the boats are unloaded at the dock literally at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 4 in the afternoon, the warehouse is empty. I mean, it's
Right.
complete.
It's auctioned off.
It's auctioned to move through. So it's very, very quick, and it has to be very accurate.
And we should talk about the other, besides the C-Track portion of the business, this client, the Portland Fish Exchange, who we basically took our warehouse management system and customized it. At that point, that was truly customization for us, for the fresh seafood business. They also have a limited call auction where they have a specific group of people who are allowed to come and bid on the auction for the product. And it was call. You held your paddle up, and
Yeah, it was like a
I
true
want that
auction.
lot of fish at that price. We have subsequently developed for them a online auction system that uses the internet. So instead of having to be at the facility to purchase fish, they'll be able to do it from their office.
Wow.
And for the fish exchange, it opens up the realm of clients.
All around the world.
All around the world.
Well,
So if you're in Hong
specifically
Kong,
New England, of course, which
Right.
is, where it's based, but a lot of buyers from Massachusetts.
well, and theoretically, if you wanted to buy the product and you were sitting in Hong Kong,
Right.
you could buy it across the internet,
Right.
have somebody freeze it and ship it to you.
Right. That wouldn't be atypical.
So they are thrilled that they're able to expand their client base with that type of product.
And this is a product that the auction system is applicable to all agricultural industries,
Okay.
beef cattle.
Beef cattle.
Much of the fresh food in this country is sold through auction, so.
Commodity.
It just saves them so much money to having to fly a person out there.
Exactly.
Just do it over the internet. And I was, like I said to you before, like Sotheby's, the big auction houses do the same thing. So, I mean,
And-
they're catching up.
And Sotheby's, if you wanted to bid, you'd have to fax it
Yeah.
to them. And hopefully the fax would get there in time for you to win the auction. This is instantaneous across the internet, so.
Awesome. I
Wonderful
see my light
technology.
going on. If you can believe a half an hour has gone by. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me here. I got printed something off, and I just thought the return on investment can be measured and captured. Eliminate lost or misplaced inventory, dramatically increase inventory accuracy, improve fill rate and service levels, optimize space, facilitate movement, facilitate just-in-time delivery, improve employee productivity, lower operation costs, reduction in internal travel time, ability to process multiple orders, reduce manual processing errors. I'm like, who wouldn't want that?
That pretty well covers it.
That
Who wouldn't
covers it.
want that in their manufacturing or production plant? Especially if you can write it off on your taxes and amortize it, increase your production and efficiencies. I encourage the viewers out there to please, call Pierre or Don and look into this. Go on that website that's flashing up on our screen. You guys do a really wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Susan.
so
We
much,
appreciate
Don.
the opportunity to be here with you.
Pleasure to be with you.
For coming here. And for any other small businesses out there that would like to be on my show, please call me at my business at 537-2626. And as always, Carl and Jack, thank you so much for all the wonderful work you do. Have a good day, everybody.
This program was made possible by a grant from New England Benefits Group, Incorporated. Unique solutions for employee benefits.